Steve Jobs once said, "Ideas are worth nothing unless executed." Ideas are just a multiplier. Execution is worth millions. Hi, I'm Mo. I will be doing something a little different today. Instead of a normal pitch, I'll be telling you about my journey of bringing idea to market using Gen AI. But first, a quick story. This is Bob. Bob has big ideas that Bob knows will make him filthy rich. Unfortunately, Bob has no clue about execution. Bob has no technical skills in production and no technical co-founder he can rely on. Bob only knows how to draw with pen and paper, or in this case, crayons. Now Bob has two options. Either he can spend time and energy, rack his brains, learn the skills he needs to help him execute. Or he can pay a cool friend that can do it for him, have whatever he needs commissioned by a freelancer. Bob wants to be fast. Bob also wants to save money. Feel familiar? We are all like Bob. Now in today's times where everyone is most familiar with ChatGPT, we are only using Gen AI for text and image understanding. But Gen AI truly opens up so many more possibilities to expand our capabilities. Using Gen AI for software development has been around for a while now, like apps and websites. But what about using Gen AI for hardware and electronics development? This is my inspiration, the 1991 Macintosh Classic 2. I really admired how aesthetic it looks, even by today's standards after 34 years. I've always kind of imagined how it would be like to use one, how it will look like on my desk. And on another note, I've been really annoyed that I have to keep opening my Spotify app on my PC to switch songs, pause or play, or when I hear a new song that I really like, open it again to see what title and artist it is. It's such a breaker in my workflow. Now, while keyboard macros exist, you ultimately still have to open the app to see what song is currently being played. So I thought it would be a really fun weekend project to build something that could solve my problem. First, I listed out my requirements, see what's being played, control start, stop and skip, build a nice enclosure to house everything, and maybe it could be a retro Macintosh design. Now instead of making my searches on Google like a normal person, I logged into ChatGPT, turned on deep research, selected the best AI model, and copy-pasted my requirements in. I've dabbled in electronics here and there, but I've never really connected a display to a microcontroller before. I went right back to ChatGPT again. All I did was to follow its instructions, and it pumped out lines after lines of code. It even guided me on what wire to connect where. Now, here's where the fun and games kinda come to an end. Wipe coding, the thing that had me hyped for so fast and easy progress, was the very reason that almost caused me a huge loss. I was testing an early version of the circuit. Since it was USB-C powered, I decided to just use my phone charger, and that's when I saw smoke. Apparently, ChatGPT had given me the wrong wire connections, and not only had I short-circuited the whole electronics board, the power cable was glowing red hot. It managed to scorch my notebook on my desk and cause a huge power trip in my house. It just shows the importance of fact-checking and not blindly trusting what the AI outputs. Anyways, I fixed the circuit, and now to tackle the Spotify part. I opened up the developer documentations of Spotify and, like a true vibe coder again, instructed my GPT to traverse all documentation, convert it to its C++ usages, build a nice retro Mac OS X inspired UI, and bake everything together. Now, I don't know what OpenAI has been cooking, but after a couple of errors here and there, and over 700 lines of code, it worked flawlessly. I had something physical that worked, and I didn't need to know why. To settle the nice Macintosh-inspired casing, I hopped onto Hugging Face, where there's numerous high-quality open-source AI models available, especially those that specialize in image to 3D models. I, however, ended up using this freemium tool called Meshy AI, and the results were of superior quality. I iterated on my design almost 19 times before finally settling with this version. Once that was settled, I went over the following Monday to my school labs in Singapore Polytechnic, where they had some really great 3D printers, and that's where I was encouraged by my lecturers to explore maybe start selling this. After almost 18 design revisions, I had a whole fleet of them. I had finally zeroed in on the final product. A few days ago, I launched a waitlist, and it's really cool how rewarding the community has been. Over the past months, I have sold nearly 200 devices, bringing my total revenue to just over $10,000. Going on a fast-paced project like this has been something else, and it's really rewarding, you know? That's my story, and I hope I've inspired some of you all to use Gen AI beyond just the usual use cases. The important thing is to launch fast, adapt quick, and produce results. Don't just make pitch decks and crunch numbers. Come up with something that you can launch and see the results in 30 days. See you around.